So the million-dollar question is this: how do we do that? How do we help people experience this fear of future pain? There's really two ways to do it, and both are effective to a degree. One is going to be a lot more effective than the other. The first one here is going to be external persuasion. This is where you as a salesperson are like telling your customers and prospects that they need life insurance because of these reasons. It's essentially your opinion as a salesperson in your prospect's mind, like that's what they're thinking. And the second one is internal persuasion. This is helping the customer and prospect find out their own problems through using questions. External persuasion is still honestly really effective in what we do, because we're in a space where like people just don't really understand insurance. Insurance is complex. To demonstrate that, think about your liability insurance on your car insurance. Now think about before you got into insurance, how well did you understand those coverages, right? Did you understand what they did for you? Did you understand why they were so important? I know I did. It's just a complex space. So external persuasion, simply making recommendations to people. If you can just get good at recommending getting life insurance for these reasons, you're gonna start to sell more policies. But the far more higher level of persuasion is internal persuasion, helping your customers and prospects come to a realization that they do have these problems, that they do have these gaps, these risks on their own. And so a couple ways that we can do this: external persuasion, right? When you're talking with your customers throughout the day, start to put your life insurance goggles on and start to look for problems, start to look for gaps in people's financial futures. A couple of those gaps to look for that you should already know, but I'm just gonna remind you, they just spell out L-I-F-E. You've probably heard of this before. So loans/mortgages. We'll just generalize that and say debt. So if you can just look for any sort of loans that people might have, if they have loans on vehicles, heck, you can make a recommendation to get life insurance to pay that loan off. Mortgages, same thing. Any sort of debt, you can make a recommendation for that. Income replacement, right? If husband passes away prematurely and he's providing a paycheck for the family, there still needs to be income to come in. F, maybe a funeral. And then E, we're just gonna put everything else. If I were you, you're a team member and you wanna sell more life insurance, I would focus on loans and mortgages. Pay off loans and pay off mortgages with life insurance. And you can do that by just simply making recommendations. All right, real quick, exciting news. We finally have the Win the Week weekly planners available for insurance team members. If you're in a sales position and you're in the insurance industry, I want you to know you've got unlimited things that you can do every single week, but you've got a limited resource of time. So what you choose to work on matters. My question is, are you using strategy, or are you just flying by the seam of your pants hoping that you hit your goals, hoping that you end up working on the right things? Listen, if you want to get to that next level, if you want to sell more policies than you ever thought possible, if you want to make more money and have that bigger, fatter paycheck, start planning out your weeks. Take time every day, set aside to review your last week, hold yourself accountable, stop waiting for your agent to do that and just do it. Right? Be proactive with your accountability, but then also make plans, make adjustments along the way so that you make sure that you're spending your time the best way, the most effective and efficient way possible, and you will work on the right things. And when you work on the right things, you'll start to sell more. So again, Win the Week weekly planner for team members is available. Check the comments below for a link to purchase, and we'll get you back to the training. So I'm going to show you a little framework that will allow you to make recommendations in a way that's compelling. And this framework is this: problem, solution, benefits. If you see that there's a loan on a car, you need to help your customer and prospect understand what the problem is, also known as risk. What is the risk that they face by having this loan on a vehicle? There's a couple. Number one, if something happens to the vehicle and it's damaged, they're at risk of having to pay for everything out of pocket. Luckily, car insurance actually can be the solution to that risk. Now, if they have a loan on it, right, there's another risk that what happens if the person that has the loan on it passes away prematurely? Is this loan just gonna go away? No, it's gonna still be there. That is the problem. That is the risk that family faces. The solution to that risk is, I think you guessed it, life insurance to pay that loan off. Now, most of you, all you're doing is, when you're making your recommendations, a lot of you are doing this, you're helping them see the problem, You're telling them the solution. Oh, we can get life insurance to pay that loan off, and this is how much it's costing you. You're missing a very important piece to being compelling with your recommendations, and it's this puppy right here. Benefits. Your customers and prospects and humans in general, if we were to think about what radio frequency are we all tuned into, it's this, WIFM. Cheesy, I know. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? If you were to tell Colter, like Colter, hey, where you've got a loan on your Ford, right? Heaven forbid, if you were to pass away prematurely, you probably knew this, but that loan doesn't just go away. It's going to go to next of kin, your wife, closest family member, for them to deal with. But I've got the solution for you. I've got some life insurance that can come in and pay that off. And if you did that, Colter, here's what it would cost. Cool. I just want the car insurance. I'm good. That's what a lot of you are doing. Sometimes you might get lucky and people are like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I need to get that. But most of the time, people are still thinking and they're tuned into this radio frequency. Colter, what's in it for me? Because I'm telling you, if you were to tell me that, I'm like, cool, whatever. So don't stop at the solution. Tell me why it would be important for me in my specific situation. Why would I care that my loan gets paid off? That way, spouse and kids would never be in a position where they might be struggling with that debt, like on top of trying to deal with losing you. That way, spouse doesn't have to have this added financial burden on top of trying to deal with losing you. That way, spouse and kids don't have to sell this vehicle out of necessity. Just simply adding benefits onto the end and explaining and helping them understand why it would be important for them and their specific situation will take your life insurance conversations to a whole new level. You're gonna start selling a lot more policies, but again, we've gotta have, this framework will change your conversation. Help them understand the problem, help them understand that you have a solution that you can help them with, but then help them understand the benefits of going through with that solution. So guys, that's all I'm gonna cover today. We spent a little bit of time on external persuasion. Stay tuned as I go into a different episode. We'll go into internal persuasion, which is the higher level of persuasion. Getting your customers and prospects to come to realization that they have problems and that it's their idea to get them solved. Appreciate you guys. Stay out of trouble.